Stadia is the gaming platform that lets you instantly play great video games on screens you already own, for free with the Stadia Pro subscription. Stream games directly to your favorite compatible devices, just like you already do with music and movies, so your games are ready the moment you decide to play them, without waiting for installs, downloads, or updates. As you can immediately see, the Stadia audience is not intended to be for the hardcore gamer, as Google needs to explain to us the basics of live streaming. Now, it's hard to find comprehensive information on how Stadia works in terms of different tiers, so I will go over that now. Firstly, anyone with a Google account can use Google Stadia. The free version is called Stadia Base, but on this version there aren't any games available for free. To play any games on Stadia Base, you have to go to the store and buy them. Playing these games, you are limited in terms of the video and audio quality of the stream. Next is the paid version of Stadia called Stadia Pro. This costs $10 per month, and the main advantage is it comes with a catalog of free games that you can play at any time as long as you stay subscribed. Every month they release a few new games. For December 2020, we got Secret Neighbor, a highly rated social deception game, Into the Breach, a well-received turn-based strategy game, Everspace, a game where you fly a spaceship through procedurally generated environments destroying everything in front of you, and Monster Jam Steel Titans, which is a monster truck racing game which also has a freestyle trick arena. Kind of a weird niche thing. Back to the tiers, on Stadia Pro you can get better stream quality, and you can also get Pro-only deals on paid Stadia games. There are actually some really good games available on Stadia. For example, with the Stadia Pro discount, I was able to get Metro Exodus for only $16, which I actually only ended up paying $6 of, because you get $10 off your first purchase on Stadia if you have Stadia Pro. It's also worth mentioning that the Stadia Pro has a free trial, where anyone can get their first month of Stadia Pro completely free with no commitment, and yes, you still get the $10 discount. There's also Stadia Premier Edition. Despite what it sounds like, this is not a higher tier subscription. When you buy Stadia Premier for $100, Stadia will send you a Google Chromecast and a Stadia controller and give you 3 months of Stadia Pro. To use all this stuff, you'll need a TV, Wi-Fi, and a cell phone. This package is designed to let you use Stadia on any TV, and you can record gameplay moments. Now that we know the subscription tiers, let's clear up a few common questions. First, can I play Stadia Pro games that I claimed after I cancel my Stadia Pro subscription? No. Once you cancel your Stadia Pro subscription, you cannot play the Stadia Pro game, even if you had already claimed them while you were subscribed. Next, after I buy a game on the Stadia store and then cancel my subscription, can I still play that game? Yes. If you bought a game on the Stadia store, even with a Pro discount, you can still play it after you lose your subscription. However, you're stuck with the Stadia base streaming quality. Next question. Can I cancel my Stadia Pro subscription and come back to it later? Yes. If you drop your Stadia Pro subscription for a few months, then start it up again later, all of the Pro games that you claimed will be available, and your game data, meaning your saves, will still be there. Stadia actually has some really good games in the Stadia store, namely Borderlands 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Doom Eternal, the Metro series, Red Dead Redemption 2, Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, and Star Wars Jedi: Fallen Order. At the same time, it also has some games available that I don't think anybody will ever buy, such as Pac-Man Mega Tunnel Battle, Uno, Monopoly, and a whole bunch of other games that no one has ever heard of. While the Stadia store actually has a decent amount of games, the Stadia Pro games are a little more limited. Here's a clip of me scrolling through the Stadia Pro catalog. Don't blink or you'll miss it. In all fairness though, for $10 a month, it's still a pretty good deal. Some of the more well-known games here are Sniper Elite 4, Dead by Daylight, Hitman and Hitman 2, Orcs Must Die 3, PUBG, and Risk of Rain 2. With these games, however, we begin to see some of the limitations of Stadia. Any Stadia multiplayer game is on a closed server, meaning that you can only play multiplayer games with other Stadia users. This causes problems in games with smaller player bases or games that require a large player pool. For example, in PUBG, Stadia doesn't let you play on keyboard and mouse because the player pool is too small. They just removed that option. In fact, many Stadia games seem to be designed to be played on controller. There's a bunch of 2D fighting games such as Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, but the best example of this is Orcs Must Die 3, a Stadia exclusive. This game doesn't let you click your mouse to get into the main menu, you have to press your keyboard or a controller button. Also, this game inexplicably doesn't have a quit button. You have to hold escape and use the Stadia exit button, which is akin to Alt F4ing out of a Steam game. I also ran into some bizarre bugs in this game. In one case, I spawned too many archers in a co-op game and the AI completely bugged. No orcs would attack the objective or me, and the orcs were unable to enter the map because they couldn't destroy the breakable door at their spawn point. Hilariously, me and my co-op partner were able to clip our weapons through the spawn doors and slowly kill the enemies on the other side. I had a recording of this, but I tragically deleted it on accident when I was working on this video. In another instance, enemies failed to properly navigate to the rift that the player is supposed to protect, and we were able to kill the enemies as they mingled around doing nothing. On the topic of Stadia exclusives, I'm not sure how much money the studios are making off of it. Orcs Must Die has always had DLC, but this time, one of the iconic items from the first two games, the Night Guardian, is locked behind a $10 DLC. It actually seems that Stadia has embraced the microtransaction culture of games these days and offers a variety of skin packs, currency packs, and other DLC content. Outside of the Stadia Pro games that I listed, the rest are pretty unknown, and some of them are pretty broken. Here's some footage from a game called Ember, available on Stadia Pro, which, while undeniably being pretty fun, is also a buggy mess. I was able to break the physics of the game in about 2 minutes of trying and sent myself to the top of the skybox. The actual gameplay itself also has issues with entities not loading, such as this weird issue you see here. Or this fence, which turned invisible during the level, getting in my way while trying to move around. There's also more physics issues, such as here, where the game didn't let me place a safety slide out the window, forcing me to try to jump out the window with a trapped citizen and die of fall damage. At the end of the day, the Stadia service does work. I thought that input lag would be a huge issue, but it really wasn't. It was more noticeable in some games than others. For example, I felt a little sluggish in Metro Exodus, but in other games like Sniper Elite 4, it was actually unnoticeable. So, after all of that info, who would I recommend using Stadia to? Firstly, to anyone who's interested in one of the big name games on the Stadia Pro list, like Sniper Elite or Hitman, just get the free trial and you'll have a whole month to beat the game for free. For people like me who don't have a computer that can run newer games such as Metro Exodus, Stadia is great because you can have a great single player experience without having to upgrade any hardware. I do not recommend Stadia to people who are interested in multiplayer only games. Games such as PUBG and Dead by Daylight are already having player pool problems, and trying this on Stadia would be an absolute nightmare. Thank you for watching my review of Google Stadia, and if this video helped you, please leave a like down below.